Guess what time it is? Hi. Sharing link in progress. I need to work on my lighting. That's what's going on next. My glass is coming off that damn thing. Oh wow, we got 3 people already. That was fast. A minute and 30. Back to 2. Oh boy, I can hear a different stream in the other room. Looks like I'm not the favorite one tonight. Oh, it's such a good feeling when you share a link on a channel that isn't active and suddenly they go active. Hello, is anyone here? You can see one person, nobody's talking. I wish I could play music or something. Oh, finally. Finally. There's so much showing up. I don't know what's all going on though. Oh, the link is being an issue tonight. Gotta love it. Yeah, it's not a big deal. I'm also having issues for some reason with YouTube not wanting my link to go out. I keep sharing it, and every time I push it into like Snapchat stuff like that, all of a sudden it goes all whack. So I don't know what's going on. Might not be a night for streaming. Might not be a night. Who knows? Oh, I'm starting to get the hang of this though. Definitely the stream, sharing out the link and all that stuff, and it's a good feeling when you hop on Instagram and the people aren't active. Oh no! Already? We're 6 minutes in, and you guys are calling me turkey. Fantastic. What's up, Tubby Guy Outdoors? How you doing, Wyatt? I thought that's who. I just there's so many Jeffs. I didn't want to call you Jeff or Wyatt, and I wanted to call you Wyatt, but at the same time I wanted to call you Jeff for some reason. So it's on me. How you doing tonight, man? Lots of streams tonight, but don't be frustrated. No, yeah, I ain't gonna be that frustrated. I ain't too worried. Just hopping on because last night was a pretty good night for streaming, and I figured I'd try to get in tonight. Oh, that's good. Do any good? Pretty sure you're the one I was talking about trapping. Do you get any more trap or any stuff traps? I don't know. Pretty sure that was you. Pretty sure I was watching your YouTube the other day. I'm assuming you got. I don't know. The names are still. I'm still not fluent with the names. Look it up. Thing. Oh, okay. Awesome. Well, fingers crossed. Hopefully you get something soon. I mean, yeah, it's good. You got a while. You got a ways to go for plenty of time for trapping. I'm pretty sure trapping season just opened back up or just opened. I guess I don't know wherever you live, the rules and all that stuff. But I'm pretty sure trapping season opens up soon or has. My sets got flooded out, so I have to change things up. Yeah, that's it's just part of it, sort of becoming a good trapper. As always, I've always known is like you're always gonna have. It's sort of like the mindset behind anything really is you're gonna always have setbacks and stuff mess you up. Here I have until the end of April. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. I don't know when trapping goes here. I'm not really into it. My dad would know a lot more about trapping than I would. Definitely sounds interesting though. Hopefully you can get something in the bag. Maybe another beaver. That reminds me, I gotta hang beavers tomorrow night. Tomorrow night or tomorrow, or maybe even tonight at some point. But there's some skins I gotta hang up somewhere. Yeah. I guess I don't know. Be like, can't really speak much on the fact, but I've watched a ton of like trapping videos and stuff like that, and I watched a ton of Alaskan bush people, I think it is, and I know that don't make you no expert, but I certainly have picked certain things up over time, and it tends to happen to them a lot too. Most of the time, they get ice freezes on their traps. So I know that's a common thing, or well, for this time of year or in the winter, especially. I don't know. But I don't know. My dad was supposed to get into trapping for a while there, and then COVID decided it was gonna wipe out all the trapping classes, and yeah, always something. But isn't it always something with everything? That just seems like everything anymore is like there's always something to go wrong. Always. Oh, I forgot. You're only 10 minutes late. Um, so there's always something to go wrong with everything, and I know that for a fact, just from I don't know working on cars or you know just about anything, going fishing even. Always something that can go wrong, no matter what. Like I've had times where I bought brand new fishing baits, and like the first cast out fishing with it, I had a time where I casted and I really cranked her to get her out there good, and all I remember here, you could always know that like that echoing ring, that snap, and you just watch the bait go flying, and your line hit the water, and your bait hits the water way out past where your line hit the water. It's just turn around and just leave. That's all you can do. Just turn around and leave. It's not a good day. Yeah, always learning, and even like the best of the best always still get tricked up, especially with trapping. I know that for sure. Like even an experienced trapper gets tripped up fairly often because it can be the littlest thing making, you know. Yeah. So, um, my first experience ever musky fishing, or I guess it was pike fishing, or one of my first experiences. I casted my dad's brand new musky lure into a tree. Now, mind you, we went back 3 years later and cut it out of that same tree. But the point still stands: is he was plenty pissed. That was up the road a ways too. I wasn't that far from here. I remember that day like the back of my hand because the only time I've that my dad has ever gotten not pissed but disappointed. Not like to the point where he just didn't say anything. He just kept on fishing, and I knew exactly what would happen, and kind of just went and sat by the truck while he continued fishing. My mom caught kayaking fell out of. Oh, I okay. Kayak fishing. If I ever hook anything or snag anything kayak fishing, like I'm just gonna cut the line and leave it. You know, fumbling around in a kayak is not fun at all. It's definitely like I don't know. I I'm in a fishing kayak most of the time, so you just sit on top of it, and that thing, it's rated for like 300 pounds, but I still feel like very. Good night, Dad. I still feel very uh uneasy on a fishing kayak, and that thing is rated for way more than I even weigh. So I don't know. Kayaks are a whole different ball game when it comes to fishing because it's not what you think. I just yank until something happens. So yeah, the issue with that is I've seen what happens when the hooks come right back at you. I've seen that too many times, and I've also I do it too many times, and you know damn well that I'm never gonna stop doing that. But like at the same time, I've seen some pretty gruesome pictures from, and I love fishing out of my kayak. Yeah, kayak fishing is a lot of fun. It definitely is. But you always have that first time you go kayak fishing where you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, that looks so easy. That I ain't never gonna get wet." I don't think you can go kayak fishing without getting wet. Got a hook in the forehead before. Yeah, I think I've got them in the back. Have it a lot of times where they'll come, I'll yank them, and for some reason they'll hit my like shoulder and go around and slap me in the back. And I think it's actually the T-shirt I'm wearing right now has a hole in the back of it. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. I think if I can get this off, I think there's a hole in the back of it. No, different one. No, it's a different one. uh Good night, Bryce's dad. His name's Evan. Well, Section 8. I don't know how he'd prefer it. So, uh, he this shirt I have the same exact shirt, but in a large, and it got caught. I remember the day like like it was yesterday too. Is I yanked it out of a tree, it came back and like wrapped around me, wrapped completely all the way around me, come back up and like perfectly slapped a treble hook right into the back of my shoulder. I'd have my best friend pull it out with the pliers. Yeah, when you get a hook anywhere in clothing, it's easier just to cut it out of the clothing. It really is. Man, I don't know why I'm breathing so hard. I just sat down. It's been a long, long, like quarantine. There, perfect. And it's just getting out of winter, so I'm a little out of shape. Just a little bit. I wasn't that bad. Like it hurt, and I cried. Like yeah. So I've that's the thing though. I've don't when I have hooks in my finger, I don't really cry. It hurts like hell, but like at the same time, I'm not really like I don't really focus on it much. Like I'm more worried about getting it out, and I'm also more worried about like ruining my bait. As bad as that sounds, man, I just realized how low I am in the frame. So, um, a big thing that a finger and a forehead are two different things. Yeah, but when there's a fish attached to that finger, it's a lot different. So I was fishing a creek or a creek, about a mile north of my best friend's house, and well, Grace, you know Spencer Montner. Uh, he had we were fishing in a creek, and I remember I caught a pike, and the pike come. I was trying to get the pike off the hook, and one of the treble hooks, the front treble hook went through my finger, and the back treble hook was attached to the fish, and the fish started going like and like shaking, and yeah, it was like tearing my finger to pieces. Not really tearing it. I was surprised it didn't do any real damage, but nope, there's a scar. I wish I could. Wonder if I could show. Oh, you can kind of see it. That white dot is a scar. That's right where it went in. Yeah, so that's right where it went in, and you can kind of see. I could almost post a picture on my Instagram. I wish I could show it. So there's a white dot and there's a white scar that goes from the tip of my finger to like the knuckle almost. Let's see if we can get it a little closer. You can see it, kind of see it. It's really blurry, but it goes right there, and it goes back, and that's where that. So it originally went in right behind where the nail is, and then as soon as the fish started flopping, it tore down. So I was very fortunate that it didn't do a lot more damage. But no, I wrapped it up. I shit you not, I wrapped it with I cut a chunk off the top of my sock, and I used some electrical tape, and I wrapped it, and then went right back to fishing. Yep, fished the rest of the day with my finger. It was I got back to the house and it had already bled through the entire like thing, and I peeled it off, and it wasn't even bleeding anymore, and probably should have gotten stitches, but it healed the pretty plenty fine. But no, yeah, I'm really big on the use of electrical tape. It's a really good wound. Or, yeah, literally that or super glue. I've super glued more cut shut in the past 3 years that I've known about it than yeah, chicks dig scars, but when you look at your hand and it looks like I don't know, you got what's a one of those people that take care of hands or like cut the nails and all that stuff. Manicure from Edward Scissorhands. When it looks like your because look at you can just see how like my hands are beat up from working, and they're just I don't know. I'm only 19 and my hands look like this, but I have scars all over the place. I have a scar on my hand. Which finger? It's hard to tell. I have scars on my in the insides of my fingers. Yeah, that's true, but like my hands are oddly soft for how like I do most. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, so I have scars. A scar here, these scars. I consider them same scar because they were done at the exact same time. So there's one here, and one down this one. I was working on at work. Oh yeah, all from the lotion. Okay, but I was at work and they had shattered the front window out of a excavator, and I was in there with a vacuum cleaner cleaning it up, and I slipped or something, and your first immediate reaction is to reach out and grab something, and my dumbass reached out and grabbed the window edge that still had glass like pointing out of it, poking out of it. I grabbed full clench onto that damn window, that window edge, and all I remember I grabbed it so fast and pulled it off so fast. There was no glass in the cut, and I remember being able. I looked at my finger, and I saw a little white tendon for about 2 seconds, and all of a sudden it was just like my hand was just filled with blood. And yeah, that was a bad night. Fun fact: that night I also fixed the. I also sutured it shut with a shop rag and electric tape too. That night was the exact same thing, electrical tape. I didn't go get stitches even. Yep, that was a great night. I just remembered I actually used electrical tape for it. Yeah, I was very lucky. It didn't so much as cut, it just poked in. It just stabbed in. So I might have hit a tendon at some point cuz later on it hurt like hell, but now it don't hurt at all and I don't have any issues. But like it might have hit a tendon and I just never did anything. I don't know. I was just lucky. I was very lucky it didn't cut any tendons. But nope, I never went and got stitches, and it healed just fine. You can sort of just see the little scars on my fingers, and that's it. Man, I got so many scars I could talk about all over my hands. There's a one scar. Um, I think it's right on my knuckle where I was playing that game where you use a knife and you like go in between your fingers, and I hit my knuckle. That was a fun night or a fun day. I think it happened at a party, like a family get together. I remember I stuck it right. I was lucky enough it hit the knuckle and it hit the bone and it sort of deflected it off. Yeah, lots of people. Well, most people from high school. Everyone from high school still calls me, or everyone's from school still calls me Gingy. All the teachers and everyone. That web between your thumb and your pointer finger, I cut straight down through that about an inch and a half, 13 stitches. That one, yeah. So, wow, damn, dude, that's a really chunk. That's a meaty chunk of shit to hit. Damn. Ooh, you definitely had to hit like what are the stuff that holds your knuckles together or your knuckles from separating? You definitely had to hit some of that. Oh, did I get bad stitches? Oh yeah. So I have scars that cover up scars. It's funny. Oh, box cutter. Oh, them are bad for that too, because there's such a clean cut that at first I'm assuming it didn't hurt because it just happened. It probably happened so fast that it didn't really hurt at first, and then eventually over time the pain comes. That's what happens when you cut with very sharp knives. I've noticed. Um, I think there's a scar. Don't didn't feel anything. Yeah, so it's just like it's not like necessarily shock. It's just how sharp the blade is, but it also is shock. So I have a scar in between these fingers because in first grade I was playing sword fighting with scissors, and it was uh Gracie, or it was Preston. Uh, Me and Preston were playing, or we were just like messing around with scissors, and I remember it was this was before school had even started. Like this was before class had even started for the day, and I walked into the room and we were just messing around at our table and all that. And I remember he swooped at the scissors a little hard and went down the scissors and come right down. And I bet he even remembers this. And I just saw the blood on the ground. Oh wow, that sharp. Damn. But I remember, but I remember watching the scissors go right down into my knuckles or right down between my fingers and slice it open. I was surprised I didn't have to go for stitches for that, but that was a school nurse. I walked into the school nurse and it was what was our elementary school nurse? I can't remember her name. Nurse Jan or something like that. Oh, she was the best, but I can't believe she I think she wanted to send me for stitches, but I never went and got stitches for some reason. I don't know what that was about. But I remember that big time. It was first grade. I think it was like I want to say like the first week of first grade even. Oh yeah. Well, anyways, you know who Preston is, and that's the one I did it with. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. um, but otherwise, I got scars to cover up scars. I want For the longest time, I had a like a scar right in the middle of my palm from where I slapped a nail. I just slapped my hand down on a chunk of board and didn't the the board just hid the nail good enough, or maybe it was a door. Maybe it was like the framing of a door that I slapped. Because I remember I slapped it somehow, and I remember going to pull my hand away, and my hand didn't come. My hand didn't come with me. It just stayed right there. But I also have a scar on my pointer finger knuckle right here, where I cut with a very sharp brand new knife. I was fishing, and I went to cut the line. I don't even know how I did that really. I thought I went to cut the line to my lot my to my knot, and I somehow caught my knuckle. And I remember I could see white. I could see my knuckle on that one. Never went to the doctor. Kept fishing for the rest of the day. Pretty sure I used my sock for that one too. I used just the top like the lining to my sock. That was a fun day too. That was with my other best friend. Oh man, it's weird how you always get injured with your best friends more than you get injured with anyone else. It's amazing. Oddly enough, most of my injuries were from fishing too. But well, oh, what an evening! This is a. How does the audio? By the way, if anyone's still here listening, I don't know who's all here still, but hopefully the audio is somewhat good because I'm using an audio card tonight. It's plugged into the audio card, or my mic is plugged into my audio card, and then the audio card is plugged into the computer. So it's like a mixer, but it's all just mainly meant for like putting different channels together. fix my thing. Doesn't sound. Yeah, my dad bought it. I don't know. He got it off of Amazon. It looked pretty cool, but no. But like I was saying, I have scars upon scars. I have scars on my knuckles. I have scars on my fingers. Most of them I don't even remember where they're from. It's crazy. It's a weird thing though. In shop, I rarely got injured in shop class. I mostly ever got injured in the parking lot at the school. Just between like stupid stuff we were doing and pulling exhaust, like working on the exhaust in the parking lot of the school and stuff like that. It's funny. But in welding class, I think I rarely got burnt. I think I have got burnt pretty bad during welding, but I landed on an ice auger that was supposed to be strapped to the footboard, cut right through my suit, pants, and long johns. 11 stitches for that. You could see my kneecap. Wow, that sounds interesting. You got any pictures? Any pictures you could DM me? As weird as that sounds. Uh, I don't know. The other night, Raymond sent me some interesting pictures from something he had going. No man, nah man, no pictures. Damn. Most of the time when people get injuries like that, they take pictures. Oddly enough, though, I don't think I've ever taken pictures of it. That's a funny thing. I don't think I've ever taken pictures of any of the injuries I've had, so makes sense. You don't really ever think about it when in the moment. You always think about it afterwards when it's stitched up or something like that. Uh, was years ago. Didn't have cell phones back then. Oh, okay. That long ago. Okay. I mean, I got pictures from a guy that I used to work with that his dad was working on a lawnmower and somehow turned the engine over, or he was working on I think he was working on the recoil, and he didn't realize that when you pull or tension the recoil a little bit, it spins the blades. I was like 15, I think. Oh, not bad. That sounds very gruesome and interesting at the same time. But like I was saying, the guy I worked with, his dad was working on a lawnmower, and he turned the recoil over. I think he just bumped the rope to the recoil, and his hand was on the mower deck, like holding it up, so he was could work on it or something like that. And he showed me a picture across his hand finger as knuckles on the bottom side from this one to this one. You could see every single bone attaching that. I think I even still have the picture. Funny enough. Maybe not. It was all on Snapchat. Oh man, that was a great night because the manager at the place I used to work at was a very big blood freak, and she absolutely freaked out when she saw the picture. Just like threw up. It was hilarious. Yeah, no, every single thing. The funny part about that, the same exact thing, the guy went into the house, bandaged it up, or his dad went into the house, bandaged it up, and went back out and started working on the lawnmower. And then he finally got home from work and was like, "Oh no, you need to go to the hospital like now. It's very bad." Because his dad, I don't know what his dad was thinking. If it was just the shock or the adrenaline or what, he didn't think it was that bad because there was just a lot of blood. He didn't ever look at it or really look at it. Well, when he got the picture was when they had to clean it up and got it to stop bleeding, was just before they were about to stitch together, and you could still see every bone in the hand or in that top row of knuckles. Definitely one of the most interesting pictures I've ever seen. Just very, very sharp lawnmower blades. I'll give it to him. He knows damn well what he's doing when he's sharpening lawnmower blades because he proved it. My pointer finger with a paring knife at work a long time ago. I mean, Oh wow. Oh man, my dad can tell a story about uh one time he dropped. It's funny enough. It's the exact place I'm working at right now. When he was 20 or something, he was working at the exact same place I'm working, and his boss accidentally dropped uh or my boss, our boss, accidentally dropped sewer cap. Uh, Now, mind you, concrete sewer cap onto the tip of his thumb. I think it was the tip of his thumb. Funny enough, went and tied it back together with electrical tape, same thing, and finished the job. What? Hi, Raymond. I didn't even know you were in here, man. Oh, that's what those were. I was kind of wondering because I remember you sent me the pictures and I didn't really know what they were from. They're definitely really cool looking, or it's cool how that goes in. But I didn't even know you were in here, man. How you doing tonight? Uh, like I was saying though, wait, what was it? Oh, he just tore the tip of his thumb off, tied it back together, or sutured it back together with electrical tape. Went and finished the job, and then his boss convinced him he needed to go to the hospital. Oh man, hey, Raymond, or I don't remember what we had discussed your name last night. Uh, Tubby guy outdoor Wyatt. I could just say Wyatt. Already beat you to the turkey thing, so that's a bummer for you. Um, but yeah, I had no clue that's what those pictures were from. They were just kind of random, and I didn't really understand because my dad also had the same exact thing or something like that when he was in the hospital for his back. Oh wow! I hope you got him back. When you lose digits, it's so much different than just cutting your finger. When you actually like fully remove a tip, when you fully remove fingers, there's a guy um that my grandpa knows. He was just at his my grandpa's house the other day actually, who has the tip of his pinky gone, this gone, or like it went right across his hand like this, and he has these three fingers gone. It's like that. That's what his hand looks like. Really cool. He's a really cool guy. He literally told me the whole story on how it even happened. I didn't even like notice his fingers were like that, and he showed me. How are oh but he did that though with he was starting a tractor and his hands went into the so there on a tractor you have a John Deere you have a flywheel and the electric start. Well, the electric start wasn't working, so he was hand cranking it over, and his hand went right down through the electric or right through the electric start gears and tore his fingers like completely off. Doing good playing with rods. Raymond, that don't sound right. You might want to add a little context to what you just said, Raymond. Just a little context would be great. Just saying. Ooh, not a joiner. Ah, not a joiner. Not a joiner. No, not a joiner. Oh gosh. Oh man, joiners are bad. Oh, that did not. I bet that wasn't that great. Ooh. Damn, that really just does not sound pleasant. Mm. I know a kid. There was a kid at our shop that put his finger. He cut cut between his fingers with a table saw. He cut about an inch into his hand right here with a table saw. He was well. You can already exactly tell how it happened. He was going down a board, and his hands just he for some reason didn't move them and just cut right into his hand. Yep, board was stuck, and she grabbed the end of the board. No, damn, damn, that had to been graphic. Oh, damn, joiners are just my cut. Oh wow. Oh damn. I just can't get it out of my head. The joiner incident. Oh, cause that's like a really fast moving blade or a fast moving. Not even a blade. It's like a bit or like a long tube that spins. Oh man. Assuming I know. Assuming we're talking about the joiner I'm talking about. Because then they got different types of joiners, and they also have planers. But I don't think you're talking about a joiner. And joiner, there's so many different types of joiners, so it'd be almost interesting to know what one you're talking about. Because like, there's a joint, a table jointer or a tabletop jointer. I'm back. Awesome. How you doing? So there's oh, Grace, you don't even know. We have been talking. If you read through the chat real quick, we have been talking about all the different accidents that we've heard or seen or experienced. So, uh, what was I saying? Oh, there was a kid. There was a oh, yeah. He ran his hand at our school. He ran his hand right down into the table saw. And I remember that. He was very lucky. He didn't go any farther, because he definitely would have taken off big chunk of his hand. I got kicked in the head with a hockey skate. What the heck? No way. 8-inch joiner. Oh wow. The good news probably is the fact that they didn't have to repaint the shop anymore. She did it for them, unless it contained most of it. Sometimes it'll do that, like sawdust. Damn, I can only imagine the sound, just the sound of it happening. Oh man, I'm a very safe person. Like, broke my nose with a bask, broke my glasses. Interesting. Yeah, no, I've seen and heard a lot worse, or even experienced a lot worse than having a basketball bounce off my face. Mm, I've seen fish hooks actually through hands. I've seen pictures. Oh man, Grace, you remember when Ryan uh caught a fish hook through the finger or through his fingers, and it went through? I think it went through two fingers, or it went through clean through one finger and into the next finger, and it came out the front of the next finger. My brother Bryce shot Brennan with the BB gun. Yeah, I've done that. I've shot myself on accident with them. Well, not it was more of a ricochet. I shot a barrel and it bounced back and hit me. Oh man, ah, 8-inch joiner. That's I literally can only do nothing but imagine that. That really sounds damn. That really sounds bad, like very bad. By the way, do you how does the audio sound for everyone else or everyone listening? Does the audio sound pretty good? Using an audio chip or an audio board, I should say. It's a little. I almost wonder if I could show it on stream. So it looks like cutting cold meat with bandsaw. Cut most of the tip off my thumb. Had 6 stitches in the tip. Awesome. Good to hear. 6 inches. See, I've never come close to actually removing appendages. I don't think. I think the worst I've ever had. Have a good night, by the way, Grace. Sleep good. I know. Oh yeah, that's fine. Definitely go to bed. That's okay. Have a good night. Good night. So I think the worst I've ever had with any fingers being like badly, like broken. I flattened the tip of my finger. Yeah, I slammed it in a car or in. It was just before school. It was really good because I got out of school that day for the main reason that my dad literally thought I had removed my finger. Um, he I slammed my hand in a when we had used to have a minivan, and I remember I was in a rush and I had to run back into the house for something, and as I didn't realize that I had my hand on the back side or holding the frame of the door and slamming the door at the same time, and I went to walk away and my hand didn't come with me, and I remember just looking back, my one finger didn't get it as bad, but the other finger was just like the tip of my finger was I can remember was just like not flat but like badly like bent, and I think I don't even know if I broke it because we never even went to the hospital for that. I was driving a pin out of an excavator track, missed the punch, got the tip of my. Oh damn, that sounds bad. See, flat like when when you can badly damage your finger and only lose the tip of you only lose the fingernail, you did damn good because you didn't do enough damage to actually like severely mess your finger up, but you did enough damage to give your nail what it was meant to do or what it's meant for. Sever the bone off in my thumb, have plate and screws holding it together. Ooh, damn, not bad, Raymond. Wow, that sounds interesting. Wow, not bad, man. You've been through the ringer, haven't you? That does not sound fun at all. I think it would hurt more having them do surgery on it than it would, unless they put you out for it. I mean, I'm assuming they put you out to put plates in your hand, but like I think the worst part about getting an injury isn't the actual injury itself or getting the injury. It's what comes afterwards. Because then you start feeling the full force of the pain. Then you start feeling them sewing it back or working on it. And that's when the real pain kicks in. Because I remember I don't go to the hospital. I haven't really ever gone to the hospital for anything that wasn't extreme. Tractor steering wheel. My thumb was on the palm. Damn, Raymond. Not bad. Not that deserves a round of applause. Wow. You I mean, at least you messed it up good enough to have a pretty good story, I'm assuming. Or you could probably remember it pretty well, I'd say. unless the adrenaline kicked in and then you forgot a lot of it. But damn, it's not bad. It sounds really, really graphic, but like at the same time, it could have been much worse. You could have taken off half your hand, I'm sure. That's the thing is I always think about is like when you get have an accident or injury, I always think it could have been a lot worse. Yeah. Wow. I always think though is like um it always like whenever something happens, I'm like, oh, it ain't that bad, and then it's generally the people that are with me that are like, it's bad, it's really bad, and I'm like, nah, it ain't that bad. But the one time I did when I slammed my finger in the car door, I knew that was bad right away because it didn't. It was so bad that I didn't feel it for a solid 15 minutes, and then when I started feeling it, my fingers were already turning black, not black, but like deep dark blue, or you could tell there was something broken there. Oh, I think they were broken. It was just the tip of my finger. But when I smashed my that finger that time, I turned around. I'm like, wow, and like that grace moment, like right after an injury, when you look at it and you admire your work, is like the greatest thing ever. Just the greatest time. Just like you're just looking at it, you're like, wow, I really messed it up that time. And then you're thinking like, how am I gonna take care of this? Yep, I've had that happen so many times. I've had times though, also when I thought it was a lot worse than it actually was. So when you can see bone or you can see tendon, as long as that tendon is not sticking out of your hand or that bone isn't sticking out of your hand, you're mostly fine. Because there really isn't a whole lot of meat between the skin on your finger and the bone in your finger. So I've learned that over time that as long as it's not you didn't damage the tendon or you didn't damage the bone, you should be somewhat okay. Oh yeah, dislocating it's a lot worse. Not only because you feel it coming out and you feel it all of that stuff. I think I dislocated my elbow once and maybe my shoulder once. But I've dislocated all my fingers. I've done that plenty of times too. Um, just playing football, really. Um, what was I saying? So dislocating something, it seems a lot worse because you can feel the joint going in and then or when it comes out, and you can also feel it going back in. It's a quick pop, but you can still. You ever move? If you ever had the chance to move your arm while it's dislocated, and you can just feel the bone like rubbing. I had that happen with my elbow. Cast for 2 months. Had to. Ooh, damn, Raymond. You do it good when you mess up. You do it damn good when you mess up. My thumb popped it back into place. I kept working. Made a guy I was working with puke. Yeah, I've had that a couple times. So I used to dislocate my fingers so often that I could that most of the time I literally I think one time I um I think it was during football practice I had that happen where I caught a football wrong and dislocated my finger. Now it sounds crazy, but you can dislocate your finger just by catching a football wrong. Okay. I remember caught this football really wrong and it like bent my hand, and I remember knowing it was dislocated because I went over to the coach and he's like, yeah, that's out of place. We're gonna need to get a trainer over here to put it back in." And I don't know what I was necessarily thinking, but like there was a small group of like five people around me, and I'm like, no, I'm fine. It went, and you could hear, like, you could, like, I knew that I had to get it in before. like get it back into place before it started to hurt. Otherwise, it was gonna hurt a lot worse. And all I could think was I just grabbed it and I went boom and I pushed it back in, and the pop the noise that it made when my finger popped back into place was like deafening. Like when everybody suddenly goes quiet because everybody just heard that pop, and like I knew it was bad because then the trainer showed up and it was a girl at the time and she was just like, "What? Why did you put it back in? Why did you put it back in like that?" And I kept telling her, I'm like, "It would have been a lot worse if I didn't. That when like it would have hurt so much more." And fractured my C1 vertebrae and Bolt's disc. Damn, that sounds interesting. C1 vertebrae. I think my dad had broke his back in the lower vertebrae, like C something or I don't know lumbar. Maybe it wasn't C anything. It was lumbar bones that he broke. But no, yeah. Uh my coach was both pissed and happy at me that day that I popped that back in. But ever since then, I whenever I dislocate a finger, I've always just put it back in myself. So it is what it is. I know. It's not that smart of a thing to do because you can damage stuff, but at the same time, it's exactly what they're gonna do when a professional does it. They just pop it back in. Oh wow, that that's bad. See, that's weird. Like a lot of people recently have been telling me stories about how they got in a car accident and broke their back somehow. So when I hurt my back, um, so the reason why I couldn't play, I played football until my sophomore year of high school, and then I ended up hurting my back. I pulled the muscles off of my spine, and I pulled some muscles off the top parts of my hip, or like they're right where your spine, right above the right side on my right hip, and a little bit off of my spine on the right side. I pulled the muscles off it. Well, deadlifting accident or not an accident. It was a deadlifting mishap, which deadlifting is one of the more stupid lifts that our world has these days because I pulled it off. Fingers are nothing. How you can make 9 mistakes and still get down 911. Yeah, that's a true. That's very true. You can make 9 mistakes. You can do them all separately or nine. Yeah. Oh, that's what you mean. 9 fingers. Oh, I am. There's the turkey thing. But when I hurt my back during football, it was during practice. I hurt my back and then still went to practice, which was a big. The trainer yelled at me for that. I went to practice for a week and then thought it was a good idea that next Monday. So I think it happened on a Monday or a Tuesday. Yeah, Mondays were lifting days, and I think we were in there on a Tuesday for some reason, and that's when I hurt my back. I didn't go to the trainer, the school trainer, until the next Monday, because I was telling my dad my back was kind of like really hurting, and went into the trainer, and the trainer's like, "Yeah, you're done practicing for at least a week. You need to go see an actual doctor on this." And I'm thinking like, "Oh man, it's like it can't be that bad. Like I barely did anything. I just felt a little pull, or I actually felt when the muscles pulled and it hurt really bad at the time, but I thought it was just sort of like no pain, no gain. Like I thought it was one of those practice injuries and that I'd be fine. By the end of the night I could ice it out or something like that. And I went the next week. I went into the went into my coach and told him like, "Hey, this is what happened during lifting. Uh, is there anything we can do?" And they brought me right into the trainer, and like within 5 minutes of feeling around on my back, the trainer's like, yeah, you're probably done for with practice for at least a week here until you can see someone about your back and get an X-ray done or something like that. Or the doctor turned out they wanted to do like an MRI or something, but then didn't deem it bad enough to take an MRI or something. I think they wanted me to go to a different hospital to get an MRI because the school the our hospital in town here isn't that great or wasn't that great at the time. Because they hired a bunch of trainees on most of the time, so they wanted me to go all the way over to a different town, like a 45-hour drive, which wasn't really a big deal, but we didn't want to go all the way over there for the MRI just for them to tell me the same exact thing that they're telling me already. So I remember because my coach was uh what is it? They help people that have had surgery or injuries, that they help them like strengthen the muscles and all that to getting back to normal. I can't think of what it is. He was one of them, and he worked right in town here. Can't rehab or not rehab. What am I thinking? Uh, Major brain fart here. But so anyways, he right away said, because I went to the hospital and he told me to get a recommendation if I could to get back or go to him for like the the can't want to think of what I'm calling what it is. I really this is bothering me now. Uh Physical shoot. I don't know. Anyways, he was one of them. He told me, if you can go to the hospital, you have to get a hospital recommendation or a doctor's recommendation. Physical therapist. That's what he was. Okay, physical therapist. Okay. He told me if you can get a recommendation to me because I was at least here and know exactly what's going on and I can get you taken care of. I think it took hmm, 6 weeks of physical therapy or 8 weeks of physical therapy, and then I was able to start practicing again. But then by the time I got back into practice, I didn't I can't remember what was happening. Basically, I when I left the team, I was doing really good. I was starting on I mean it was still JV. It was still, you know, peon a status essentially, but I was still starting and was still playing in some varsity games. I still got the opportunity to play in a couple varsity games as a fill-in, and when I came back, they wouldn't let me do anything. Like essentially for 4 games after that, I sat on the bench because now that I think of it, maybe it was because I had an injury, but by then I was already cleared to go back to practice, and they wouldn't let me do anything besides practice, lift, train, and all that stuff. I don't think I played in a single game after that in high school. And mind you, we had like 6 or 8 games left, and I sat. I think maybe it was 6 games because I remember I sat on the sidelines for just about every single game. I think I got put in like 3 times since, and he. I think it was by we had 1 game left, and I went into the coach and I'm like, I'm done. I'm not doing this. I put so much time and effort into this team, and I train, and I am one of the better players on the team. I at least deserve some sort of a position. And I said, no, I'm done. I'm like, because I I I got injured at practice, and still I'm not getting the respect I left the team having, or because I mind you, this entire time I was hurt, I was at every single practice still, every single practice since I got hurt, since that I could not practice, I was still there. I still did all that. We didn't have high school football. A kid got paralyzed and they canceled the program. Wow, interesting. But no, yeah. So after that day, I quit football, and I think the same exact week I or no, I remember I was working at the grocery store by then, and that exact same week I went into my boss and told her I could start working again, that I wasn't doing sports no more, and I just started working. That was the position in my life where I stopped playing sports and I started working, and I've been working ever since. Or not working ever since, but just working, or yeah, working ever since, but just been working instead of doing sports. So I used to get asked all the time, like, at school, like, well, hey, why aren't you ever going out for sports anymore? I'm like, well, I got work. That's all I ever said. I definitely let one experience ruin the experience for me in high school, but at the same time, I was able to go to work, and I realized that work was very much more important, and I had a better chance at doing something at work than I had a chance at actually doing something in football. So no, yeah, it was that's how my high school experience was for sports. Ooh. And I didn't play baseball through high school because that was just sort of like a whole joke. That was more the kids that your parents had to be someone. So in a small town like ours, your parents had to be someone in order for you to be someone. And I'm not saying my parents aren't someone. I'm just saying, like, if your parents weren't either part of the school or didn't own like a company or something like that, weren't on the school board, or if you weren't someone to them, because the coaches to the baseball team, one was on the board, I think, and the other one was a teacher. Oh, shit, I didn't even see that. Sorry, man. Oh, yeah, definitely. Thanks for coming in, man. Thanks for coming in, Tubby. I'm probably going to hop off here anyways. Not kind of a slow night. I might go watch some other people's streams. So have a good night, man. And I'll see you hopefully in the next stream or sometime soon. Have a good night. Uh, but oh yeah, that's definitely my what I was saying though. Yeah, you too, man. Have a good one. See you sometime soon. But no, yeah, definitely, I don't know. I definitely value work now more than I ever valued sports. I love playing sports, but the way people are in sports and the way people are treated when they're playing sports is just kind of ridiculous. Unless you are amazing, then you know. I don't know. I guess I did kind of rob myself because I never got a chance to try out varsity sports. And varsity sports supposedly are a lot different. But at the same time, I was playing varsity at times, and I never, mind you, I was playing varsity at times, and there were kids that got letters in their sophomore year, and I never got a single letter. I never got a single letter, and I played the same amount that those kids were playing at some points. So when I left, when I just before I got injured, um, my sophomore year, I was playing my ass off. I was working. I think I weighed in my freshman year at 280 or 275, and I think my sophomore year I was already down to 250 or something like that. I lost a lot of weight, put on a lot of muscle, started toning, and started working. That's how that went. I remember because I think when I hurt my back or pulled the muscle in my back, I think we were maxing out on deadlifts, and I think we maxed out at just under 300 pounds or just over 300 pounds, right around 300 pounds. Oh yeah, we never played hockey. I mean, you're from Canada, eh? So we definitely don't have hockey. We have basketball. We had basketball, wrestling, and football, and baseball. That's all we ever had for high school sports for men at least. But then never was really interested in baseball because of that those reasons. And then I don't know. I played a game of pickup. I used to play pickup basketball at lunch a lot of the time, but that's it. The only sports I've ever really played since then, besides fishing, of course. Fishing is a sport. I bet you were an awesome goalie, Raymond. Excellent goalie. You're probably one of those goalies that would like cross check people for fun. Just absolutely like someone was getting out of line, you just clothesline them. I can imagine that. Yeah, but no, I don't know. That the whole high school experience for me, it was definitely I let it ruin. I let myself get ruined, but at the same time, it ruined itself for me because it didn't. I've always had that experience with sports where people are just so controlling. Their parents basically run the team. So it is what it is. So I was a pretty good kid in high school, but at the same time, I wasn't. There was a lot of things that we did that weren't abiding by the rules. But I don't think you can have a fun experience in high school if you are following the rules. I'm a firm believer on that. Rules have to be broken in order to have fun. That's just plain and simple. Not I'm not talking like severely breaking the rules, but breaking the rules just enough to have fun. Definitely as a good experience at high school. There's so many stories I can tell from high school that were just lots of fun. But anyways, it's getting about that time. It's getting kind of late there. I'm probably gonna hop off. It's kind of a slow night. I know a lot of other people are streaming, so you guys, Raymond, you definitely probably have somewhere to go. I heard different stream to be on, but I don't know. I'll probably stream tomorrow night or maybe the night after that, depending on how everything goes, because it's kind of one of those nights. But 1 2 1 2. I'm confused. That always confuses me. Can't I know this means something. It meant something at 1.2. I don't know what. I'll let you go, man. I'm gonna hop off. Oh, 12 12 to bread. Oh, okay, makes sense. You're at. That's what it means. Okay, well, you're exactly 2 hours ahead of us then. Exactly, because it's 10:13 here. But all right, have a good night, man. I'll talk to you in a different stream. Have a good night, everybody who's watching. Adios.